Hello, I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 4 of the fantasy football season. Hopefully, you're off to a good start in all your fantasy leagues, but we do have some injuries that have taken place in recent weeks. So maybe you're scouring the waiver wire, and here are 5 of my favorite pickups for this week. I have 1 running back and 4 receivers, so it's really receiver heavy. Running back continues to be a tough pickup on the waiver wire. It's been the case most of the year. But my first pick is a running back, and I think he actually could help. And it's Chris Rodriguez of the Washington Commanders. He's owned on 25.5% of leagues on our site. Quite frankly, I don't know how the Washington running back situation is going to play out. You hear a lot of talk about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, but quite frankly, he hasn't gotten a ton of work in that offense. I know he led the team in snaps last week, but Rodriguez was the first back to see the field. He had the most carries of the 3 backs in that game. He ran 11 times for 39 yards and a touchdown. I think he might be the back to own out of the 3. He's no sure thing going forward, but he's definitely worth grabbing. If you're looking for some running back help, he could be a big factor in the coming weeks. My next pickup is a receiver, and it's Trey Tucker of the Las Vegas Raiders, owned on 14.4% of leagues on our site. Tucker had an absolutely monster game last week. He scored 3 touchdowns. He had 8 catches for 145 yards. I know it's not going to happen every week for Tucker, but he does have touchdowns 2 of 3 games. So he has been a part of the Raiders offense most of the year. He's been targeted 17 times. I think he has a pretty good connection with Geno Smith. I think he's worth adding in formats where you're looking for some help at receiver. He could definitely be worth some streaming plays in the right matchup. My next pickup is another receiver, and it is second-round draft pick Luther Burden of the Chicago Bears, owned on 34.2% of leagues on our site. The Bears said they were going to make it a point to get Burden more involved this week, and they did, and he rewarded them. He had 2 touchdowns his first 2 touches, just 2 touches his first 2 games, but he had 4 last week. He had 3 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown, in addition to a carry for 7 yards. I think his playing time could really start to increase going forward. He's a big-time talent, and the Bears are going to find ways to get him the ball, in my opinion. My next pickup is Chiefs receiver Tyquan Thornton. He's owned on 10.4% of leagues on our site. He has touchdowns 2 straight games. He led the Chiefs in receiving this past week, 5 catches for 71 yards and a score on 9 targets. He's becoming a favorite target of Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion. Those receivers are still out with suspension and injury. So as long as that's the case, I think Thornton could be a big factor for the Chiefs the next couple weeks, and he could be worth some good matchup plays for fantasy teams. All right, my last pickup is Jalen Tolbert of the Dallas Cowboys, another receiver owned on just 2% of leagues on our site. CeeDee Lamb's banged up. He's already stated he thinks he'll be able to play this week, but who knows? It's an ankle injury, and these things can tend to linger, and they might not want to force their star player to play on such short notice this week. So I think Tolbert could end up being the next man up in the offense and starting for the Cowboys at least this week, but maybe the coming weeks as well, if Lamb is really banged up. And Tolbert last week, when he got in the game, he had 3 catches for 24 yards on 6 targets. He had some big games last year as well. He's a big play threat at receiver, and I think he could get a heavier workload if he's starting in this pass-first offense. All right, those are 5 of my waiver wire pickups for week 4 of the fantasy football season. Good luck navigating all those waiver wires this week. I hope you have a lot of success. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports.